Donald Trump has kicked out all of the press from the White House. He is shutting down the White House all day as his regime is in utter chaos, as more stories are emerging about how he snuck out of the old Air Force One into the cafeteria cargo container with Natalie Harp, and CIA is now leaking that this was all just an Israeli fabrication in order to manipulate Donald Trump to get the United States back into this catastrophic and unlawful war in Iran. Donald Trump is being mocked globally right now for what a coward he is, and he is cowering. He is not taking questions from the press. He has shut down the White House as he rots away. You take a look at what's going on in the nation right now as well, which deserves much more attention. The U.S. government officially posted its largest July budget deficit in history, a deficit of $432 billion due to an acceleration of federal spending. Great work, Doge. Great work, Elon Musk and Donald Trump. You managed to destroy our government, destroy essential services to the American people, and now you've run the largest budget deficit in history. Yeah, the fiscal hawks, the fiscal conservatives, total BS. Never call them those labels. These are the most financially irresponsible bankrupters imaginable. Goes on to say, interest on U.S. debt rose $26 billion from last July's level to an alarming $118 billion for the month. Oh, I guess that was Biden's fault as well. I'm being sarcastic, of course. This puts the interest alone, the interest expense for fiscal year 2026, up to $1.17 trillion. As a result, this interest expense has officially surpassed both the national defense and Medicare spending here in the United States. In other words, the U.S. government now spends more money just on interest than it does to fund the entire U.S. military or to provide health care for seniors. Well, we should be providing a lot more health care to the American people generally, and we should be spending a lot less money on the military because Donald Trump and Hegseth showed how they wasted trillions of dollars in our military. They've depleted our munitions. They have depleted our strategic reserve, as you know, thanks to the incredible reporting of Military Times, Stars and Stripes, and Aaron Parnas here at the MeidasTouch Network. You know about the deplorable, putrid conditions aboard the super carriers in the Persian Gulf as a result of Donald Trump and Hegseth disrespecting our service members and their families and continue to lie about it. Oh yeah, and there was just a report that came out moments ago from the Washington Post while Donald Trump is cowering like the pathetic little creature gremlin that he is. The U.S. military has lost roughly 25% of its Reaper drones as Iran war depletes its arsenal. Yep. The U.S. lost at least 45 MQ-9 Reaper drones, about 25% of its fleet. That alone cost $1.3 billion. And by the way, you know all of those THAAD interceptors that we ran out of? Each interceptor, about $11 million per interceptor, and they shoot two in order to try to stop an Iranian ballistic or drone, which may cost $100K or even less to make, sometimes a little more. So we spend $25 million to shoot down $200,000 drones or ballistics, which is absolutely absurd. Meanwhile, you have Iran releasing these images right here, additional satellite imagery as a result of just some of their missile drone strikes carried out in July 2026. Yeah, those THAAD interceptors, those PAC-3 Patriot interceptors, the PAC-3 are like $4.1 million each, and they shoot two every time they try to strike down an Iranian ballistic. Well, just look at the damage done to the Al Dhafra Air Base, the Habsin refinery, a data center in Bahrain, a U.S. aluminum company. They go on and post all of these photos. And the interceptors weren't even working well. Iran was able to use their new ballistic technology to evade the U.S. interceptors also. Again, we've been reporting here relentlessly on the MeidasTouch network about the horrific conditions aboard those super carriers. Again, I just want you to think about it. Donald Trump today cowering in the White House, closing down the White House to the press. He certainly doesn't want to answer questions, and he thinks that This is like the tactic that Donald Trump uses in the 80s with the press. Just ignore the press for a few days and don't answer questions about the supercarriers having these horrific conditions or Donald Trump hiding in the food container and the cafeteria container to escape the old Air Force One. Just let the news side. No, we ain't forgetting about how cowardly you are. And by the way, you all saw the reporting that we did reminding everybody again that, what was it, 1 month? Hegseth spent 1 month alone, $7.9 million on lobster tails, $15.1 million on ribeye steaks, $235 million on furniture. I could keep on going on while our service members can't use toilets, while their showers don't work, while they can't get the nutrition that they need and they're losing 30, 40, 50 pounds, while many of our service members wanted to jump overboard because the conditions are that horrific and the deployments so long and never ending, and they don't want to be complicit in war crimes. That just think about the contrast over there. But moments ago, again, Donald Trump cowering in the White House. You had Pete Hegseth. This was from moments ago, rejecting reports of the deterioration. This guy's such a scumbag, right? I mean, this guy, this loser who couldn't run a veterans nonprofit. He got pushed out for mismanagement. He's a failed Fox host. This psychopath, truly a psychopath with a horrific background, with horrific allegations against him. He's just a putrid liar. And he's like, oh, well, I think all of this is false. Our sailors have never been treated better. We're speaking with their families. We're speaking with their loved ones who are telling us what the hell is happening. And I trust them a lot more than I trust you. Just like I trust the Epstein survivors much more than I trust all of you Trump scumbags who cover up child sex trafficking rings and slaughter little girls in Iran. Sickening. Here, play this clip.
Completely misrepresented. Listen, we make sure at every ship, every crew, every captain has everything we can provide them at every single moment. Some deployments are longer than others, and I have more respect and gratitude for those sailors than anybody. What they do in those high seas and those austere conditions with less port calls, it's incredible. I mean, Americans don't understand what it's like to do that. So as someone who's not been on a ship like that, but been on long deployments, I feel it. I want them home as soon as everybody else do. I want folks rotated as quickly as possible. I want the best for them. My commanders know that. Our service secretaries know that. The president expects that. And so to that crew and to all those crews, we're going to do everything we can for you. And we are so grateful for their dedication of that crew and others. They've held the line for the country and they've done a fantastic job.
Speaking of these horrific individuals, again, keeping the picture painted for you. Donald Trump cowering in the Oval Office, hiding from the press. He sends out his sycophants. You had Pete Hegseth there saying, everything's going good, everything's going good. What about RFK Jr.? RFK Jr. over here says that Donald Trump is terrified of getting food poisoning. The reason Trump eats all of this fast food when he travels abroad is because he's so scared. Why is he so scared of everything? Why do we have the biggest, setting aside that he's an incompetent criminal, sex predator, horrible human being, why do we have the most pathetic loser? Right? To me, it's just like, even if you had, I would never, this way, I never want to have an authoritarian. Let me be clear. I love democracy. But the authoritarian here is like a loser, though. He's like a weak, pathetic, scared coward. It's just freaking weird, man. Here, play this. He's scared of food poisoning. That's why I need my McDonald's because I'm scared of food poisoning when I travel. Mommy, I want to eat my little burger, mommy. I mean, right? Just what the hell is this? WTF? Here, play this clip.
President Trump actually eats really good food. Does he? Most of the time. But when he's traveling, he likes to eat food from national chains because he's scared of getting food poisoning. If he buys it from a little, local place, he's scared that it'll have some contaminant in it. But when he's at Mar-a-Lago.
By the way, that's why we call our book WTF America. Pre-order it now because I'm like, what the hell is this? I don't want to normalize any of this that's going on. More from this interview, RFK Jr. talking about how Donald Trump doesn't drink water and he just loves his Diet Coke. Okay, here, play this clip.
President Trump is one of those.
Yeah. It doesn't affect
I talked to
him.
Dana White. Dana White's known Trump like, very well, closely for 25 years or more. And he said that he's never seen President Trump drink water. He just drinks Diet Coke. And, but, he's got more energy than anybody I've ever met.
That kind of goes against the, I guess.
Okay, enough of RFK Jr. Again, Donald Trump hiding in the White House, closing it off to the press. You've got Sean Duffy, Donald Trump's transportation secretary. He's asked a lot of people around here, a lot of people in Michigan and elsewhere, he was in Michigan here, can't fly on planes. They can't afford. Tickets are more expensive right now. Gas prices, diesel prices, air fuel, through the roof. People can't afford to go out. What do you say about this? And Duffy's like, what do you mean? Biden? Biden? Dude, shut up with Biden. Be a freaking adult. Be a grown-up. You have been in charge now for nearly 2 years. Biden? What are you going to say? You're going to say that forever? Just grow up and take responsibility. That's what we should teach our kids. That's what we should teach our grandkids. That's what we should teach. Just be a grown-up. Start with that. Biden did it. Biden did it. Biden. No, you did it. Because you have been losers your whole damn life. All of you, from you to your real world road rules challenge loser. All of you people are just failures in life. And now you're making us have to exist in your failure freaking country right now when we love America, when we're patriotic, where we want to thrive. And you barely make it so people can survive. In fact, you make it unsurvivable. Here, play this clip.
A lot of people around here can't afford to fly. Can we say something about the dollar? Gas prices are $1 more than they were a year ago. Can you talk to us about that?
Thank you for having us. I appreciate the questions that come today. No one over here complained about Joe Biden's inflation, which is wild.
Can you talk about gas prices?
Yeah, we have a president who has fought to bring back American energy dominance, common sense energy that gives us American jobs and lowers our gas prices.
Meanwhile, you have Iran's IRGC spokesperson again saying, let me reiterate the baseless claims made by the United States regarding the normal passage of vessels through the Strait of Hormuz are nothing more than lies and falsehood. It is hereby announced again that the Hormuz Strait, as before, is under the complete control and management of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and no commercial or oil tanker can transit this strait safely without the authorization and supervision of Iran's powerful armed forces, and this will continue to be the case. While that's taking place, you have Putin visiting Iturup, one of the Kuril Islands claimed by Japan for the first time, visiting a local fish processing plant after overseeing Russian Pacific Fleet drills in the Far East. Tokyo strongly protested the visit, reiterating its claim to the islands. In other words, Putin taking aggressive actions by Japan, while you have China taking aggressive actions toward Japan and Taiwan as well. So you have Taiwan running a 30-minute exercise where it slowed down mobile internet speeds today on Thursday. Its annual Hanquang military exercise simulating a Chinese attack on communication infrastructure. Sirens sent millions into shelters as part of the drill to prepare the island for potential Chinese invasion. Taiwan is also turning its Coast Guard into a stronger military support force to counter a potential Chinese invasion or blockade. Coast Guard cutters are being equipped with anti-ship missiles and trained alongside the Navy with recent drills simulating a Chinese amphibious assault and blockade, and Taiwan launching massive anti-drone countermeasures as well as they prepare for a potential invasion by China. Israel's defense ministry, again, while Donald Trump is cowering and closing off to the press, Israel's defense ministry announced another cargo ship with thousands of tons of U.S. procured military equipment being unloaded at the Haifa port today. Bulldozers, JLTVs, Humvees, Oshkosh trucks paid for by the United States taxpayers. That's rather than it going to hospitals and healthcare and helping the American people find affordable housing. We're doing bulldozers to Israel while they demolish villages in Lebanon and continue to kill people in the genocide in Gaza. Horrific. Call it out, horrific. And now you have Israeli diaspora affairs minister who's making the podcast rounds on behalf of the Netanyahu regime. And here's their new one. Syria is, it's not new one, they've been saying it for a while, but here's what they've been saying a lot more lately. Syria is Gaza on steroids. And that is the next war with absolute certainty. There is nothing avoiding it. No avoiding it. Syria, the next Gaza. And that's what they're saying. So the Netanyahu regime is saying publicly right now. You know, as you have al-Shara, the new leader of Syria, who used to go by al-Jilani when he was the leader of al-Qaeda, and then now he's running Syria. And by the way, I've seen some of his interviews. I mean, obviously his background, you know, raises a lot of questions, to put it lightly. You know, beheading people and leading al-Qaeda. When I've seen him interview, he recognized the past as the past. And, you know, he said things about linking with Arab nations and respecting the sovereignty of Arab nations, you know, and he comes off as someone who could potentially be, you know, a strong force within the Arab world. And so now you're seeing a lot of these statements come out of the Netanyahu regime that will be our next Gaza. That's their words. All right, Donald Trump, coward. Why don't maybe what we should do rather than the motorcade is just put Donald Trump in different kind of food containers with McDonald's, and we could do like remember like horse and buggies. You could have like the horses, and he could be on the food container eating his McDonald's with Natalie Harp. Why don't we do that? Why don't we? And he could be, I'm strong. I control the Strait of Hormuz. I apologize for that imagery. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million. Thanks for watching.
Before you go, our book, WTF America, is available for pre-order now. It's the story of how we got here and how we fight our way back. To pre-order, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.